Hi ninjas, how are you doing? It's your girl Owamie, and welcome back to my channel. If it's the first time joining me, you most definitely welcome. Please do make sure that you subscribe and obviously hit the bell. I absolutely love you, and do not forget to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. It's at boldly Owamie. You may also go and subscribe to my main channel, which is Owamie Entertainment. I would highly appreciate that. And I also want to say that if you'd like to be part of our show, To Hell and Back, please do send a WhatsApp to these numbers that are going to be here, or you can also send an email. We are still shooting, so your stories are still welcome. I do believe that every single person has a story to tell, and so your story is not insignificant. You can go ahead and send us a WhatsApp message and obviously come to the show to share your story. Okay, now my ninjas, obviously, I think it was about a week before last. I did make a video and it was a story time on a Thursday, and I was like, I'm gonna slot a different show here. And some of you guys were like, no, please, like, keep them your videos on Thursday. So it's gonna be Girl Talk Thursdays from now on, and I'm super excited about that. So if you also have a story that you want to, or not really to say a story, yeah, you need advice, from me and the community. Remember, guys, I had spoken about Ask Owamie, and so I think that this will be a perfect slot when we're gonna be able to sit and talk about different stuff, story times, some of you guys' stories that are happening, so that we can be able to give you advice. You can get advice from me and from the ninjas in the comment section, obviously, and it's gonna just be dedicated to us as girls on Thursdays, Shubobom K. So basically, I'm super excited for that, and I'm happy that you guys actually suggested this. So yeah, I'm really happy about that, guys. Anyway, I am going to go ahead and also give this disclaimer of the fact that, guys, I will always talk about my past, I will talk about my present, and I will always think about my future. If I'm talking about anything that has happened in my past, trust and believe it has nothing to do with a person but my story. If you look at my stories, they're not directed to a particular person, but it's me talking about the experiences that I went through. They're not directed to someone. I'm not out here like taking tea out from someone, but if that person was part of the story, there's no way that the story is going to make sense if I remove them from the equation. I do hope that you guys will actually understand. Well, anyway, if your IQ is okay, you would understand that obviously if I just came here and spoke about something that you won't understand or even know what exactly like I'm talking about. But anyway, I'm a 33-year-old, and I feel like I've gone through a lot in life to a point where I do have some of that wisdom that I feel like I can actually talk to you guys about, just so that you do not make the same mistakes that I actually made. And so today I'm going to talk to you guys about like my biggest regret in life. And yeah, it's not an easy one, guys. I've had to sit down and be like, because we look too pretty to be crying today. But anyway, I think that I've definitely made peace with it. And even when I say a regret, I feel like maybe regret is a very strong word. I would say that if you can ask me like what would you undo in your life, this would be it, right? And that is getting married young. The worst mistake I've ever made in my whole entire life. And I also want to go ahead and clarify. I did see someone actually talk about this, that you were married for 2 years, and you were with your, ex for like 9 years or something like that. But for me, I was married for 9 years. And let me go ahead and explain to you guys. I stayed with that man for 9 years. Stayed with him full time. Remember, I was in a fat and set for years. I was doing all the wifely duties, all the wifely sacrifices, every single thing that a wife is doing. I was doing even more. So why would I sit down and actually say, no, I was only married for 2 years and then I came out? Ilunghuri, guys, I was literally married for 9, because even after the lobola was paid, nothing changed. Life continued as usual, to show you that actually that was marriage even before the lobola was paid. Now, I was unofficially married, but married nonetheless. That's for me, that's my opinion. And honestly, no one is ever going to even convince me otherwise. I think that is the reason why I am so against Fat and Set, because it's like you are actually married. You're just not officially married. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, no. If I suffered all those years, but I'm counting them because it was there. You understand? But anyway, that is that. So For me, guys, as I said, if there's one thing that I could go and do different, it would definitely be that I would not fat and set. I would not get married so young. From the age of 21 to the age of 29, I do not remember actually even seeing another man. Well, I never did. Ever since I was with my ex-husband, I never saw any other man. No other man saw me. Like, if you understand what I mean, I was so faithful. I was so loyal to that man. And I literally like, and it's not even like, okay, there were no suitors that were proposing me. They were there. They would try, but they would not really get that chance. Like, if you send me messages, I just will not respond to them. If I see you in the streets and you are like trying to stop me, I just will not. Bonama Klapis was here. It was just me and my mans, you understand? But now looking back, I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, if only I could just get that decade of my life back, I would do so much. I think that, when old people used to say that, no, you should take your time, don't get married young, some people would say you need to play. But for me, I think that it's not even about a matter of playing. I feel like when you are a girl and you now commit to a guy too much, at an early age, like, in your early 20s, before the age of 26 even, for me, I feel like you're wasting your time. I literally feel like you are really honestly wasting your time. And when I say wasting your time is because when you are committed and you're still young, some girls will go for like old guys, and I feel like that one is even more dangerous. Like, they deal with a lot more than like something I had to deal with, because I was with someone that was, my age. So we were able to can talk, issues like having kids. I was able to say I don't want to have kids now, and we were both like having an understanding of that. Whilst I know that there are others that were not as fortunate, because maybe they got people that were a lot older that just did not respect and also understand their boundaries. And obviously now they've got kids and stuff like that. That I know every child is a blessing, but I know there's a lot of people that would say that if I could get this exact child, but I could get my child like later on in life in better conditions. I know a lot of people who can actually like take that opportunity. So basically, what I'm trying to say to you is that if you're still young, especially in your early 20s, please don't want to focus on relationships too much. When people say, oh, play, some people think that they're talking about like you need to go around, with different guys and stuff. I don't think so. I think like at that time you're in a prime of your life, you still have strength, you can do almost anything. If you look at what the young ins are actually doing right now online and how much they're making money, there's so many opportunities. Like, you guys, the younger generation now, and I'm talking about like you guys that are like under the age of 27 right now, like, you guys can do a lot, especially like the 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. People are making literal millions online simply just by using the internet. And so for me, I think that had it been that maybe I had the knowledge that I have now, I would have never, guys, wanted this nonsense. Not that it's nonsense. It's nonsense for me now when I think about it, because I look at it, guys, and my 20s was just filled with so much sorrow. So much sorrow, guys. Like, I lost my car because of this ex. I would miss opportunities. I remember there was a time that I actually wanted to go and work as a maid, guys. Like, life was really tough, and I wanted to actually like propose to one of a friend that wanted a maid, but she wanted to stay in, and obviously I couldn't do that because it's a stay in, and my ex obviously something that he was not gonna even be like agree to, of the fact that I was not gonna be at home and stuff like that. And so looking back now, the way that I was so delusional, or I would say the way that I was so in love, even if there was an opportunity that came that was like, you need to go to America, but he can't, I would have stayed. And I know some of you guys are going to look at me crazy. Guys, I'm telling you, I would have stayed in this country. And I would have regretted that age for the rest of my life. I don't even want to lie. And so that's why I think that I'm just saying that. I'm not saying that you guys should not date. You should date if that's something that you want. But try your best to not make in daughter your whole life, especially in such an early age. It is horrible to make in daughter your whole life at any age, but I feel like it's even more worse when you're still young, because when you're still young you've not really seen life for what it is, and you can make decisions that can literally affect the rest of your life. I'll give you guys sort of like a story. There's this girl that I know, and she is married or was married to a guy that I also know. I don't want to say, but it's a situation that happened, but I don't even want to say where. But you guys should just listen to the story. So basically, guys, what had happened was this girl was in varsity, and I think she was doing her third year of her degree. But because she met a guy and she fell in love with him, they started keeping, which obviously is the father said. And next thing, this guy tells this girl that he does not have a wife that works, and this nigga ain't even working. You understand what I'm saying? So what did she do? I think it's because of the I'm in love, making a man sort of like the center of your world. She quit school. She quit, and I think she was about to go to a final year. She quit. She stopped going to varsity or attending, and she just sat down, fell pregnant, and she was now just being mother of the house to an unemployed broke man, right? And then after that, obviously, her family, looking at all this, they did cut her off. They were very upset, understandably so, and she stayed with this guy. Now years go by. She now has about 3 kids with the same guy. This guy decides that he wants a second wife. Broke as he is, he gets in a second wife. Guys, if I say too much, then some people will know who I'm talking about, and I don't want to make it a big deal. But what I'm saying is that she has now left, right? But now she has lost so many years of her having to go to school. And I know that some of you guys may sit and be like, what? I can never sacrifice. I can never not go to school. I can never not do this and that. But there are really honestly serious repercussions of being too serious with any guy when you're still too young. Between the age of 20 and 26, those I feel like are years that you should just go ahead and dedicate them to yourself. They are for you. So even if you're dating, you're not dating for serious. You are actually like at a point where you want to just dedicate that time to yourself. If an opportunity comes to say you're going to be going to Dubai and you're going to study there, or you're going to teach in China, you leave, because these are the years that are dedicated to you and actually developing you and your life. There's so many things, guys, that I would not even lie that I literally actually sacrificed. I actually do remember that when I met my ex, I was very big on like gym. I used to exercise a lot. My body was actually really nice. And if anything, my ex and I used to meet when like the time I would be going to the gym, because I used to like going to the gym later. He would actually be going out, and somehow would always meet. And at one point he became my personal trainer, because he was also ripped at that time, because he used to exercise a lot. But when we got together, we got lazy. We were not longer exercising. We both gained a lot of weight and stuff like that. And I remember there was a time where I was like, yo, I wish I could just get a personal trainer. And I think that because he remembered that we used to be personal trainers and we ended up actually being together, it was always that thing of you can never get a male personal trainer. Do you understand what I'm saying? So there's certain things that for me, I just feel like I had to sacrifice a lot, because I was now in a committed relationship, and something that seemed very serious. And in the beginning, because if I'll be honest with you guys, some of this stuff, you won't even see them happening. You will just be surprised when you're already in them. So let me tell you how my ex and I even moved in together to begin with. So I was in varsity, obviously. And because I was paying for my own fees, I decided to get a cheaper place outside of campus, which was very close to campus. And so I was staying there. But then time came where I had to move out of that room, and I did not really have a place. So he used to have a very big room. I have forgotten what they used to call them, but he was someone that was corridor something. I don't know if it's a corridor manager or whatever, but he was something there. And so I moved in with him. I even had a wardrobe and stuff like that, guys, and my stuff actually fitted in his room. And I told him that, okay, you know what, we're gonna be together, but then I'm looking for a place, because I wanted to move into Ness's home in George Mokari. So I had applied over there, because you guys know I was doing big hair, which means I qualified to can actually get a room that side. And so what I did was basically, obviously, I applied and I did get it. But when I got it, I think after maybe about 2 or 3 months of me now staying with my ex. And when I got it, I was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna be moving. He sat down with me. He was like, well, I don't see a reason why you should move. You're staying here for free. You don't have to pay. That side you're gonna have to pay. And besides, I'm enjoying for us to stay together, blah blah blah. And I also was enjoying staying with him at that time. And so I decided, okay, fine, we're gonna just go ahead and stay together, and I'm gonna save this money. And that's how we moved in, guys. Like, we stayed together in varsity. After that, we were moving together for all these years. I was literally with this man. I thought I definitely missed so many opportunities. Even when I was married, like, just as far back, or rather like as close as year 2020, the comments that I see from a lot of people are very, very funny, in terms of there are certain people that will look at me now and they're like, oh my gosh, oh, I couldn't even recognize it was you. There are people that maybe they left YouTube, or they've just not been watching my videos for a very long time, and they remember the way I used to look, and they come back and they see me now. I look a lot better than how I used to look. The quality of everything here is like a thousand times better. And let me go ahead and tell you the reason for that. I hustle with no fear now. Whether you like it or not, staying with a man limits you as a woman. It's a fact that you cannot run away from. You cannot run away from that, because especially within our black culture, it's your duty to cook for this man. So let's say, like, right now, I don't know what time it is. I can actually check. Yeah, it's like 13 minutes past 10 at night, and I'm filming. I don't have a problem. I don't have to think about, I'm gonna have to go home, rush home and cook for somebody. I don't have to stress about, oh my gosh, what is this person now going to say. No one is blowing my phone, like, asking me, where are you, what is this, what is that. And so I think that if there's one thing that I dropped, that I had for so many years, and I didn't even realize that I actually had, that was sort of like a weight on my shoulders of having to carry someone. I felt like I was carrying someone, even though I was not carrying, physically carrying them. It was always at the back of my mind that, oh, you have to cook, oh, you have to make sure that this, oh, you have to make sure that that. As a woman, especially when you love the partner that you're with, I think that it's a natural thing for us to constantly think for this person. So one way or another, whether you like it or not, you do have someone that you're carrying, because even if you're at work, and they're like, oh, after work we have to go out and stuff. If you are with a partner that maybe prefers to eat home cooked food, you will not go with those people. You'll be like, well, I have to go home and cook. My partner is gonna be coming back at this time. I have to do this. I have to do that. So, guys, relationships and marriages, because Fatan said to me, is marriage. Like, that's the same. As a woman, I personally just feel like you lose a lot more than a man. A man gains, and I feel like a woman loses a lot. Yes, there are certain things that we obviously get when you are with a man and you're married to him, or you're staying with him full time. But I just personally feel like, especially when you're still young, it's mostly a negative for you. Because let me tell you something. When you're young and you're very serious with a guy, especially a guy that has got no shmonish baba, okay? Like a broke nigga, I'm telling you, those are even worse. Because first of all, one thing I can guarantee you is this. It's either you guys are not gonna get married, or one way or another in the future, it might happen. Right now, this is majority. I'm talking on majority side, not everyone. It's not 100%, because I know there's certain people that are different, but high chances are that he is going to be cheating on you the moment that he's made. The moment he has money, 90%, 99% of the time he's going to cheat. So one way or another, at one point, he's going to break your heart. And you're going to have to make a decision. Do I stay? Do I not? And when you think of all the sacrifices that you've actually done, I think that one of the things that actually literally killed me, almost killed me, I should say, because of, I was thinking of everything. And I know there's someone out there that's going to say, no, you're talking from a place of trauma, just because it happened to you, it's not going to happen to everyone. I'm not saying that it's going to happen to everyone. But what I'm saying is that what happened to me is what happens to majority of women. The difference is that majority of women stay. They do not leave. I left. How many women, if you sit down with a lot of married women that have been with their partners since they were young, like their young 20s, or they were 18 and stuff, they will tell you, no, I've been with him, this is it, we've suffered, we've done this, we've done that, we've done that. The moment this man gets rich, he's now running around with young kids. So you now have to just now make a decision, am I going to stay or not? But trust and believe, like, one's heart is broken very, very much. And so that's why I'm just simply saying that I wish, and I honestly hope that if you're still young, you will not make a man your whole entire life. And if there's anything that I can also say that I regret, is the fact that throughout my 20s, I never dated. I was just with one guy, like, never dated anyone. Like, literally, I I never went on a date. Like, nothing. Like, guys, Bokare, I am wearing my clubbies like this. It was this guy and it was this guy. That's it. And I feel like there was definitely better out there for me. I feel there were definitely suitors that would have been better aligned with me. But because I was so focused on this guy, I didn't. And the other thing again that I actually wanted to say, the point I wanted to say when to talk about, like, when people see me now and they some of them can't even recognize me. One of those things is because I actually now fully can focus on myself. I actually now can fully focus on myself. I actually now can go and get the hairstyle that I want. I actually now can go and get the foundation that I want. I can now go and do whatever it is that I want. And I think the life I'm living now is the life I should have been living in my 20s. I hustle with no limits now. And I know that obviously not all partners are the same. Not all partners are the same. There's certain people that, if they're your partner, they will always encourage you, like, to go for your dreams and hustle more and whatever. Unfortunately, that's not what I got, and it's not what majority of women that are around me actually have. What I've actually seen is that a lot of these men now, they actually want, like, submissive providers. You need to hustle, just not too much. You need to do this, just not like this and that and that and that. So now I feel I hustle with no limits because there's no one that I feel like is keeping me. Because that's the other thing again. When you're with a partner, guys, especially when you're a woman and you're someone that is loving, because sometimes I feel like it's also just a huge disadvantage, especially when you're still young. As a woman, you will try, because I used to try this, to try and accommodate my ex. I know that it sounds so dumb talking about it, but literally, guys, I'm just gonna tell you guys the truth. I used to try and accommodate him. I used to under hustle to accommodate him because he can't hustle. And I remember, like, if I make more money, I would see how it would make him uncomfortable. So somehow I feel like that also gave me sort of like a mental blockage when I was just so comfortable to say, I'm going to just stay at home. I'm going to just only make videos. I'm not going to think of any other business ideas, that can actually go like all the way up there, because I'm like, I still need to be a submissive wife, or rather a submissive partner to my partner. So what is the thing that I need to do? Whereas now, if I actually, like, literally, not even the sky is the limit, honey, okay? Whatever is above the sky, we're still going up and we're going to shoot. Because of now, as I'm saying, this is the life I truly, fully do believe I should have been living in my 20s. In my 20s, I should have been thinking of business ideas. I should have been taking great care of my body, like making sure that I don't gain so much weight. I should have been doing a lot of different things. But what was I doing? Focusing on a man. One thing I can tell you guys is that I am so blessed of the fact that I am someone that is of a creative mind. I am a creative mind. If you know me, even when I was still young, I'm someone that I was a child that was very creative. And so I'm obviously talented as well, to be able to can hold down channels, not just one. That does take a talent. But literally, guys, I don't even know where my life would be if not for the fact that there's YouTube. Because, guys, I left school. And why did I leave school? I think I've spoken about this before. Anytime that I would go to work, or rather, to class and stuff like that, and I would come back and I would complain to my partner, he would always be like, "No, baby, but you can just leave, Mos. I'm here, I will support you." And guys, I'm not going to blame him. I'm not gonna blame him because I made the decision to walk away. But one thing that I can say is that when you're young, especially, it's so easy to be influenced. It's so easy because I was sitting and I was like, well, my man is here, my man is faithful, my man loves me, my man is saying he can take care of me, so he will take care of me. And oh, girl walked out of that classroom and never looked back. So please tell me, guys, or what would have happened to Owamie had it been that I was not a creative mind? I know some of you guys may think that, okay, like, what is the point? You are just saying all these things to try and tint your ex's image or blah blah blah. But in all honesty, guys, I'm not even going to lie to you guys. If you're still young, please learn. Please learn. Most of us, most of the women that are in our 30s and stuff like that, and mid 30s, those, because I'm 33, early or mid or even late, even 40s, if there's one thing that they can tell you is that we wish we used our 20s better than we did. I'm even one of those that are still very like of the fact that I at least came out of a marriage without kids. Not that I'm saying that there's anything wrong with having kids, but I do personally feel like it would be a bit more difficult for me. I mean, I'm fending for myself, so I'm able to shoot. But if I had to fend for myself and three kids, I don't think life would be what it is right now, because most of these guys that are out there, again, once you leave them, they leave the kids to punish you for leaving them. So I think that you should just make better choices. If you're young, if you're still in your early 20s, please focus on yourself. Focus on developing yourself. Focus on learning skills. Focus on, what business can I start if you're someone that is of a business mind. If you still need to go and further your studies, go further your studies. Do not like make a man your whole entire personality, like how some of us did, because we lacked that information. And again, even when they try to warn us, like, hey, men are not good for you. Well, we thought we were smarter. We thought, oh, my man is different. Just your 20s should be for you. Focus on yourself. I don't know why this was so strong in my spirit to actually talk about this, but in all honesty, I do hope that that one that has an ear will have actually heard, because I do not even want to lie. When I think of how I used my 20s, guys, I feel like crying. But again, I think that's also why I usually am always working like a slave. There's a part of me that always feels like, well, you need to make up, which I know you can never make up, but at least I'm at a point where, at one point I never ever even imagined that I would actually be living the life that I live now. However, it still does not excuse of the fact that I missed out on so much, all because I decided to dedicate myself to a man at such a young age. Your 20s should be to focus on you and develop yourself and learn your skills, not focusing on women, like especially your early 20s. That's basically the whole point of this video. But anyway, ninjas, I do hope that you guys obviously understood what I was trying to say today. I am feeling a bit down, obviously, but yeah, so I do hope that this video did make sense one way or another. And yeah, from Owamie, I love you guys so much. I will definitely see you guys next week Thursday. If you do want to share and you need advice on anything anything, I will go ahead and have my email address right there. Go ahead and send an email, and I will read whatever problem you're going through right now, and I will give you advice, and ninjas will continue to also advise you in the comment section, and we will keep you anonymous, so you don't have to stress about like, oh, I don't want people knowing about my business. Don't worry, people won't know it's you, because we will keep you anonymous. And we're from Owamie, I love you guys so much. Stay blessed, and yes.